David Adeleye defeats Jeamie TCV via a controversial 6-round knockout to capture the vacant British heavyweight title. The key word is controversial because that's exactly what it was. Now, I'm going to get to the controversy part in a minute, but I just want to give my overall take of the fight. Now, this fight, the build-up actually lived up more to the actual fight. Do you know what I mean? Like, the build-up of it was crazy. I'm going to be honest, I wasn't even interested in this fight. Do you know what I mean? But when I see these guys flipping tables, throwing chairs about, going at each other, acting like gangsters, going on like there's some roadmen, as if they're not professional boxers, you know what? It got me interested. I tuned in. I was like, yo, this is going to be a crazy fight because it looked heated. Do you know what I mean? Both camps going at it, calling each other names. I'm the biggest gangster. You're not a gangster. I'm a roadman. You're not a road. Whatever. Like, I'm about that life. You're not. You know, we can really take it there. Come on, guys, man. Stop it, man. Just stop it, man. You guys are professional boxers. You're licensed boxers. Do you know what I mean? You're not street guys. You're not street dudes. Stop it. If you was, yeah, that's before. Now you're boxers, bro. You're professionals. You're earning money. Do you know what I mean? You get paid to box. Do you know what I mean? But great, you saw the fight. Do you know what I mean? You got me hooked. Do you know what I mean? I'm sure a lot of fans gravitated towards that fight after watching the press conferences. You know what I mean? So it was all hyped up. We all believed it and we thought, you know what? This is going to be fireworks. Do you know what I mean? From the first bell, these guys are going to go at each other. Punches will be throwing and someone is going to get knocked the hell out in the first 2 rounds. You know what I mean? That's what we thought. However, it was nothing but that. There was no fireworks. There was no sparks. You know what I mean? Nothing was happening. Do you know what I mean? In fairness to TCV, he was actually the busier guy. Do you know what I mean? TCV was utilizing his jab beautifully, feinting to the head, dropping to the body. Do you know what I mean? The only thing about TCV, he wasn't really letting that right hand go. Do you know what I mean? He'll throw jabs to the body, throw jabs to the head, but he wouldn't follow it up, you know, with a right hand to the head until about the 4th round I see him start using it. But before that, it was just like feints, jab to the body, jab to the head, move forward. Do you know what I mean? And Adeleye, yeah, he was more like reactive rather than being active. Do you know what I mean? He wasn't letting his shots go. His jab was non-existent. Do you know what I mean? Like, Adeleye was not using his jab at all. He kept going for the left hook, which he did work for him. I'll come into that as well. He worked for him later on. He was using the left hook, missing widely. Do you know what I mean? Right hook, uppercut, he tried it a few times. Straight backhand, right hand, it just wasn't working. But Adeleye's game plan was be on the back foot, let TCV come in and try and catch him with a clean right and take him out. Do you know what I mean? Until that 6th round, until the controversy, nothing was really happening. And to be honest, yeah, I'll actually say that Jeamie TCV won all 5 rounds, bro. Do you know what I mean? Just the fact that he was the more active, busy fighter. He was the one letting the jab go. He was probably scoring better than Adeleye. Adeleye actually wasn't scoring. He wasn't doing nothing at all. And Adeleye really needs to improve his game if he's going to make it all the way to the top. Do you know what I mean? Being inactive, being reactive, waiting for your opponent to make a mistake here, bro, you're not going to get to the top, man. So Adeleye still has a lot of learning to do, which I'm sure he will. Do you know what I mean? But if you want to get to the top, fighting like that is not gonna take you anywhere, bro. Do you know what I mean? And also utilizing the jab. The jab is so important, so key for any fighter. Do you know what I mean? When you walk into a boxing gym, you're gonna have to learn the jab. That's what most coaches will teach you. You learn the jab first. Stepping in with a jab, coming off, jab to the body, jab to the head, double jab, triple jab. Do you know what I mean? That's what the coaches are gonna learn, are gonna teach you the most, because everything starts with the jab. The jab is there to set up your right hand. Do you know what I mean? It seemed like Adeleye was just waiting for that right hand. Do you know what I mean? He'll wait for TCV to make a mistake. so he can land that right hand. And also you waste a lot of energy trying to find that single shot, that single power shot. You know what I mean? Adeleye really needs to work on his boxing, because when I was watching that, he looked very limited. Do you know what I mean? He looked very limited. He needs to look at Fabio Wardley, how Fabio Wardley boxes. He can learn one or two things from Fabio Wardley. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, let's get to the... Nah, also another thing I want to say is too much hugging in that fight, man. A lot of hugging, bruv. Do you know what I mean? You two guys were hyping up the fight. You were going at each other's neck. Do you know what I mean? Only to just become buddies in the ring, bro. You man were hugging it, bruv. You hugged each other more than you probably hugged your girls that week. You were hugging so much, man. And referee kept getting involved. Yo, that referee was so annoying, bro. Like, just break. Do you know what I mean? And that probably led to what happened in the 6th round. Do you know what I mean? That's when he really got excited in the 6th round. In the 6th round, ref kept screaming, break, stop. And that's when Adeleye was able to land the left hook that knocked Jeamie TCV down. Do you know what I mean? Now, I was doing a watch along during this fight, innit? So I was on mute. So I couldn't hear no commentary. I couldn't hear the referee. I couldn't hear anything at all. So when the punch actually landed on TCV, that left hook from Adeleye, and Jeamie TCV dropped, I was a bit confused. Because I was like, hold on, I swear Jeamie TCV was looking away there. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like looking at the referee and then he got caught with the left. I was like, yo, what's going on here? Like, I'm a bit confused. But then later on, as you know, when I rewatched the fight, like the referee screamed like, break or stop, whatever. Like, Jeamie TCV's attention was taken away by the referee. So it was poor officiating from the referee. Do you know what I mean? They need to look into that. Because Jeamie TCV was caught off guard. Now, I understand the sentiment from the fans. I understand what a lot of fans are saying. They say, yo, listen, at the end of the day, in boxing, the rules are simple, mate. Protect yourself at all times. And I get it, of course. Of course, Jeamie TCV was naive, innit? Jeamie TCV should have been a bit more game savvy. Do you know what I mean? He should know, yo, you need to protect yourself at all times. But we can't just dismiss the fact that the referee played a part in that stoppage. The referee played a big part in it. Do you know what I mean? Him screaming break, yo, without even intervening or anything like that. Do you know what I mean? Of course you're going to cause a bit of a confusion to the fighters. Do you know what I mean? So that bit there is controversial. Do you know what I mean? And obviously, listen, David Adeleye took full advantage of the situation. You know what I mean? Like any other boxer would. Do you know what I mean? I would. Do you know what I mean? If I'm in there and the referee screens break and you're not looking, bruv, you're eating that right hand, man. You're eating the left hook, you're eating whatever. I'm putting you to sleep as well. Do you know what I mean? So it's not David Adeleye's fault. He did what he's meant to do as a fighter. Some people might say, yo, that's bad sportsmanship and whatever. But listen, mate, he's there to win a British title, bruv. By any means necessary. Do you know what I mean? And if it took that for him to get the job done, then it took that for the job to get done. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to hold anything against David Adeleye. Do you know what I mean? He was very naive, you know, from Jeamie TCV and a lack of focus for him to get caught off guard like that. But I also understand his grievances. I understand where his coaching team and his entourage are coming from. Do you know what I mean? They're screaming, yo, you know, that's poor officiating. And a lot of people are saying now rematch. You know, a lot of people are saying rematch. Now, I wouldn't mind seeing a rematch between these two guys. You know, I wouldn't mind seeing a rematch, but it has to be better than the performance from last night, bro. Because that was absolute bore fest. Do you know what I mean? That was boring. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're going to talk so much at a press conference, yeah, if you're going to act all gangster and be a roadman and whatever, and flip tables and flip chairs and, yo, the fight has to match that same energy. You can't have all that energy at the press conference, the build up to the fight, and then the actual fight, you're hugging each other. And it's boring. Do you know what I mean? Come on, you can't do that. Do you know what I mean? That next, what happened is, yeah, they want the rematch, but would the public buy the rematch? That's the thing. Would the fans actually tune into the rematch? That's the problem, because the first 5 rounds was boring as hell. It was boring. Let's keep it real. Would the fans actually invest in it? That's the $1 million question, man. Will Frank Warren want to run that back after seeing the first 5 rounds? Frank Warren is a businessman. He's all about that moolah. He's all about making money. He's all about generating interest from the fans. Now, if he looks at it that it was a boring fight, he might not want to run that back. Would David Adeleye want to run that back? Do you know what I mean? David Adeleye won't want to run that back. He's probably going to look at that, look, woof, I got away with one there because he was losing every single round. If we really keep it real, he'll be like, yo, I don't want to do that again. I'm going to move on, man. I've got the British title now. I'm going to move on to bigger and better things. And I wouldn't blame him either. For Jeamie TCV, just learn your lesson, bro. Next time, stay focused the whole time. Do you know what I mean? Don't be so naive. Stay focused the whole time. You know what I mean? Now, in terms of having the results revert, like obviously what they want, Jeamie TCV's team probably won is like, for that fight to be called a non-contest or anything like that and run it back. That's not going to happen, bruv. Uncle Frank, the way Uncle Frank operates, you're not going to get that, bruv. You know what I mean? It's not going to happen, Jeamie TCV. Like, just forget it. The best you can hope for is a rematch. Scream all the way from the top of the roofs, make noise, shamelessly, discount David Adelaye's win. Do you know what I mean? Shame him to death, whatever, and try and force him into a rematch. That's your best option. But getting the fight to be overturned into a no contest, even though it was the referee's kind of like intervening, it's kind of the referee's fault as well. He played a part in Jeamie TCV getting caught. I don't see it happening. They're not going to overturn it. The best hope is a rematch. But good luck with that with Uncle Frank in charge. I don't think it's going to happen. Do you know what I mean? But listen, congratulations to David Adeleye. He won the vacant British heavyweight title. You know what I mean? I hope he moves on from this. He takes on now. Do you know what I mean? I hope that he improves his game, use the jab better, more boxing, bro. Better boxing to set up that right hand. That's all I'm going to say to David Adeleye. Jeamie TCV, my fellow Congolese brother, unfortunately, do you know what I mean? You let your guard down. Do you know what I mean? You got caught lacking, and yeah, that's what happens, man. Do you know what I mean? Take you on the chin, move on. I'm sure you're gonna come back better and stronger, and I want to see you more fights, bro. Do you know what I mean? I'm sure you're gonna get another opportunity. But listen, let me know in the comments what you thought about that fight. To me, it was absolute boring. Do you know what I mean? It was just a ball fest. The press conference was more exciting than the actual fight. But let me know what you think in the comments, and also let me know what's next for David Adeleye, man. What opponents do you want to see him face next? And do you actually see him, David Adeleye, as a future heavyweight champion? Do you know what I mean? Because for me, based on that performance, it's got a lot of work to do, man. But let me know what you think in the comments. Once again, thank you so much for watching EMGM Sports. I'm your boy Enzo. Please don't forget to smash the like button. And if you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe, because that's the only way you're going to help the channel to grow. I'll be back real soon with another one. Until then, stay blessed, my people. Peace.